And the last thing I'm going to do on this one here is I'm going to reverse my order. I'm actually going to pick up my yellow first and then dip into my white. And I'm going to place that right in the center of that flower. Kind of press it down just a little bit so that it removes some of the height. And then using my brush, I'm going to come right into the center and just start going around in a circle, pressing out and creating the center of the flower. When I'm doing floral designs on a nail, I usually will do multiple flowers. So the next flower that I do, I like to make it look like it's peeking out behind the one. Sometimes the size of the nail doesn't always allow you to do 2 full flowers on it. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to place one petal up to the top. I'm dipping back into my monomer. And I'm going to pretend that the center of this flower is behind the one that I've already done. So I'm going to repeat the process of pressing and visualize the center of this flower is peeking out from behind the one that I've just done. And then I'm going to repeat that process with a second petal. And I've gone into my white, then into my yellow, blotting the ball out onto my paper towel. Then I'm going to place it onto the nail. Add a little bit more monomer. And once again, visualizing the center of this flower is behind the one that I created previously. And then now I'm going to go into my yellow, then back into my white. I'm going to put that down, and press that in. Very gentle pressure. If your product is the consistency that you need, you shouldn't have to put a lot of pressure on it. And blend it in. That gives us what appears to be 2 roses, one hiding behind the other, and kind of like a little peekaboo fashion. And then lastly, I'm laying in the center of my flower. And I'm just going to come in very gently with the tip of my brush, creating the illusion of that flower hiding behind the back. Now, once you're happy with your design, you can add some leaves to it. And in this case, I'm going to create one small leaf. And I'm going to be using bright green. And again, I'm going to use the double dipping method. I'm actually going to go into my yellow, then into my green, because this will give the leaf just a little bit of variation in color so that it's just not a solid. So I'm blotting onto my paper towel. And I'm picking up a small amount of the acrylic. I'm going to place it onto the nail, re-wetting my brush. And then I'm going to push the product in between 2 of the petals, and I'm going to pull it out, forming almost a teardrop effect, which looks like a leaf. Shaping it with my brush. Then bringing my brush to a point, I'm going to come in with the point, and I'm going to place it into the acrylic, and I'm just going to press. Come back in, press, 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 and you've created a leaf. Lastly, when I'm done with my design, I'm going to cap this design with my clear acrylic. One of the advantages of using the Ultra Crystal Clear is exactly as its name states. It is very, very transparent, so that your design shows through and all the detail that you put into that design shows through. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm placing that clear acrylic right over my design, and I'm pressing very firmly into the design. What this is going to do is it's going to press out any little air bubbles that might be in the flower petals themselves, as well as start to bridge the gap so that I can blend this back to the cuticle. Next, I'm coming back and I'm just going to continue moving back on the nail until I've gotten to the cuticle area. Whenever you're doing designs, clarity is very important, so you want to keep that product crystal clear. Now I'm just tapping it into place, letting it flow naturally, just gliding it into my shape. And then lastly, I'm going to reverse my application. I'm going to apply this from the free edge, and I'm using a little bit firmer, drier ball here. I'm going to come down onto the free edge, deposit the acrylic, work it side to side, and then blend it back up over the nail. And then we're just going to let this cure, and then we will finish file.